Mabu, hey! Welcome to IMHO.
In my homosexual opinion.
I'm Darby.
And I'm Alexis P. Bevels. The P stands for PPP. If you don't know what I'm talking about, join our Patreon.
I was there and I don't know what you're talking about.
We just talked about P on P on P.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of P. Alexis.
Yeah.
You've been threatening talking about this. Can we just get it over with?
Yes. So, it is official. House of the Dragon, Episode 1, Season 1 is out. Now, I will not spoil it here for you. I will not spoil it.
Oh, thank God.
I will say they have been greenlit for a Season 2. So we are getting a second season. Yeah, it was the biggest premiere in HBO history.
Ooh, okay. I'm slightly interested. Suddenly. As a Game of Thrones fan, did you like it?
I loved it. We're back in Westeros with the good and the bad.
I'm sure that means something to someone.
It feels like Game of Thrones. It's not as confusing yet. It's just one family so far. I mean, there's different houses still, but mainly it's about these two girls and their families.
Two girls.
And forgive me if they're even because one of them, I think, in real life, played by a non-binary person. I think if those terms were invented, that's what one of them would be. But it's trigger warning. There's a very graphic birth scene in the first episode, which...
All bodies are beautiful.
All bodies are beautiful. All bodies are women. But it's brutal, just like Game of Thrones was. But I'll tell you this is a mini spoiler. It doesn't count. So in Game of Thrones, the very end of the first season, you get dragons. And up until then, dragons were extinct. They didn't exist anymore. So it was like, it was really special. And then 4 or 5 seasons later, she climbs up on the dragon and rides it. And it's really cool because dragons didn't exist. Now all of a sudden there's 3 and you can ride them. So it was really, really satisfying to see it. You had to wait a long time. But in this one of the very first frames is our main character, Rhaenyra, riding a dragon. She gets off the dragon. There's a saddle. It's a saddle on a dragon.
Wasn't it called House of Dragons?
House of the Dragon, yeah. This takes place 172 years before the events of Game of Thrones.
172, that is quite specific.
Yeah, Khaleesi in Game of Thrones, this is her ancestors like 200 years but in the past.
That's neat.
Which is cool, and they do a fun thing that ties it into Game of Thrones.
Oh.
That's exciting. So it's like, ooh, I know what that means. You know what I mean? If you've watched it.
Yeah.
I think I should read the books though, because I really wanna just get into this world.
Yeah.
Episode 2 is coming out tomorrow. I do want to do something, a TikTok or something.
Well, listen, I do enjoy other people's passions. I'm really happy that you have a passion, and I'm really happy that you now have a reason to live, since clearly I'm not enough. But I also like when people keep their passions to themselves sometimes, or part of it.
But a dragon saddle is cute.
No, that is very cute. It is very cute. I like to put I like daddy saddles. I like to put a saddle on my daddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so, speaking of dragons... Wait. Speaking of Game of Thrones... Wait. You know what? Speaking of HBO...
Should we talk about the Philippines?
Yes.
All right!
We put out our last review and everyone's like, wait till you see episode 3. It's so good. And I was like, they're hyping it up. It's never good when people hype things up because then I put, you know where I put it?
We're natural
Here's my expectation.
contrarians.
I go up there. Yeah, I'm very contrary, okay? Have you ever seen Game of Thrones? I haven't, but I hate it. I don't always like the girl groups.
No.
I love these
And I
groups.
don't always like the mini challenge, but... fun.
Oh, wait, what was the mini challenge?
It was they all had to vote and they all had to rank each other.
Now
which was good drama.
That was messy.
It was messy.
That's what that was.
It was
messy. Okay, when you go to vote, can you imagine if you went to vote and it was you sitting down and someone's asking you to rank people on a board? You don't have to talk about, you don't have to say like, yes, of course I'm picking Trump for this reason. Like, you just vote.
Wait, you didn't do that, did you?
It's your own thing. You're alone. You're inside. No one can even legally ask you.
Did you see that TikTok? Did I send it to you? Remember Barbara from New York? She was a 1-season girl.
Yeah.
And she tried to film herself voting, and this guy came up and like...
was like, you can't take photos in here. And then the caption was, if you go vote, you'll be attacked. All right, Barbara.
She is incredible.
She's sturdy. They basically have to rank
From 1
their
to 10.
sisters in front of Powell, like saying it out loud. There's a giant, they love props.
And 2 very hot pit crew members.
And 9 very normal picture boards, okay? Everyone hated Brigading.
Which doesn't make sense with my fantasy, but I haven't been watching Untucked. So maybe I missed something.
Let me tell you. I, too, was like, what? What is wrong with these people? Brigading is incredible. She's an amazing
And why do they keep talking about
superstar.
branding?
And branding, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? I was so confused.
I don't have a brand.
After I watched the episode, because I was so deeply confused. I watched last week's Untucked. Okay. You know, last week they did flower dresses. They had to dress themselves, blah, blah, blah. So when they go back with all the safe people, I guess Brigading was like, I don't belong with all of these people. These people aren't even safe to me. These are bottom people. I think they all look terrible. So she tells them that. When they said everyone's names, I thought they were doing like the bottom 3, and then they would announce me as one of the top 3. So like the 3 of you, I thought were all in the bottom. Which is not great. It's not great.
It's not kind,
but it
is
TV.
Honest, and it's good TV.
It's good TV. So she says that, and then basically they're like, well, it worked for us because this is our brand. Like Miranda Summers, this like kind of skimpier look is because she's like the summer girl. Marina. Even better. But they all just kind of went through like their whole like, yeah, this makes sense for me. Like this works for me, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what's your brand? Do you even have a brand? So it started with that. And I think people who weren't really involved in the drama of everything were just like, yeah, branding. She has a problem with branding. Bring a branding. Then the tops and bottoms come in and she starts with Minty Fresh. Basically, she kind of inserted herself in a past issue with Minty and Marina. When Minty was like, what does this have to do with you? Like, what's going on? Brigading wouldn't let it go. And so she went in pretty hard.
Let the mouse go. Let the mouse go.
Is that Dorinda?
No, it's Sutton's track. I'm a slut.
Oh, fuck. Minty even gets up and walks away, and Brigading follows her and continues it. And so, even though I'm a big Brigading fan, and I do believe it may have gotten blown out of proportion, because I do feel like she just had a mouse, she couldn't let it go, I was on Minty's side in all of it. Not that I picked sides, but I picked her side. Because it was like, Brigading, I'm sure there's a producer who's just poking you, and being like, go talk to her, she's talking about you. But, with that said...
It ended up working in her favor because the number 1 slot, Precious Paula Nicole, got to be team leader for Pink Girl Group, and then last place, Brigading got to be leader for Girl Group. And
for Girl Group.
I like the way she handled it too. She was like, I'm not feeling great, but we're all going to work together and just make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brigading is aware of herself. I think she knew that she was kind of at fault with her untucked behavior. So I thought she handled it really well. And in the end, it ended up working in her favor because the people who were on her team that had voted for her to be in the bottom all had a new respect for her.
Yeah.
Listen, you make a mistake in Untucked, the next week you go to the challenge and you just go, oops.
And that's kind of like real life. That is what I love so much about the judges and the judging on Philippines, because she made a point to call back Brigading and be like, how do you feel? You did a great job.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about that.
We'll get that later. But I just, in general, I love Mama Paola, and I love how she and all the judges are interacting with
Mama
the
Pao.
queens. Mama Pao. Is it her name Paola, though?
Well, it's Paolo out of drag. What's her name in drag? Is it Paola in drag?
I think it's Paola, like, Glam or something, and then for the show, she's Mama Pao.
Oh, fuck. Another name to learn.
Well, let's get into Mama Pao, because she looks fucking so stunning. Giving me kind of like a flower,
Water
but also
lily.
Sunset Boulevard.
Sunset Boulevard lily. I hate
love
lilies.
her.
They're funeral flowers, in my opinion. But I loved this look. I would take her I'd put her on top of a casket.
Again, I want to be cremated, and I don't want a viewing.
I don't have enough money saved up to pay people to come to your funeral, so I don't think a viewing is in the cards.
Okay.
The first group goes, and I thought they were great.
I did too.
I loved their choreography. I was into it. Then the second group comes in, Brigading's group. They do even better.
Touring fucking killed and slayed and looked
Slayed and
amazing. And then
killed.
My favorite part was that they both came back and they did kind of like a battle, and they did their choreography
at each other. I love when people dance at one.
But it also, they like kind of joined together to form a super group. It made me every key change. I was
so excited about the first group because I was like, oh, good. This is not a shitty girl group thing because they're good.
They're doing
great.
Good.
And then the second group came out and was even better. And I was like, this might be the best girl group.
And it was one after the other. It wasn't like resetting.
Yeah.
It was get off the stage, bring on the number 2.
That was wild. So the second group starts walking out as the first group is still on stage. And I was like, uh-oh, they're jumping them. Oh, God, get out of there. You know who I really liked in the group? I liked her verse a lot. Lady Morgana.
I was just gonna say, I liked it.
As weird as she looked, like her outfit and her hair and, you know, we've talked about it.
That one pussy jewel.
Yes, she had, and it was kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
Which, all bodies are beautiful, all bodies are women. Yeah, I was surprised. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah. I don't remember what the name of this theme was, but it was like spooky, scary.
Oh, I do. Wait. I texted a Chicago friend of mine, Ryan. He's the one that helped me with my...
Oh, he's helping. He sent me something.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. I texted Ryan. I was like, explain this to me. And he went, okay. So Shake, Rattle, and Runway is based off of a series of horror movies that were popular in the Philippines called Shake, Rattle, and Roll. It was all about scary, scary Filipino folklore. So they all had to dress as like Filipino folklore. And there was like Scary Baby. There was others.
We're gonna start off with a bang. 3 bangs, actually.
My nipple was out.
Girl.
I'm sorry.
Bodies, bodies, bodies. I can't focus on the movie when your nipple's out.
Sorry, I really should write a piece about this in the New York Times.
Ugh. Precious Paula Nicole. She has...
I was so scared.
She took off wig. She was so
gave
scary.
Birth.
She gave birth to a bloody baby. And
that
then,
moved.
And then it fell off the stage.
It crawled off the stage.
My favorite part was when she's like, come on!
Okay, listen. I'm not for post-birth abortion as much as the right would make you believe I am. However, if the baby decides to off itself by just walking off stage... Their body, their choice.
Their
body,
if
their
life
choice.
begins at conception, that's a 9-month-old. Silhouette was holding a scary baby, and she was wearing bloody beaded. I thought this was pretty.
I thought she looked beautiful. I'll say that. I loved it.
But then later, they were like, you wear black. That's what you do. Why didn't you wear black this time?
You wore the same black wig 4 times already on this show. And then you're supposed to be dark and scary, and you wore like pretty red.
Which I think is a little bit unfair because she is still kind of scared. Like, you get bloody.
But I don't think it's unfair for someone who forced her black kind of dark thing into her talent show where she should have been light and bubbly and precious.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna try and make that fit into things, then when you're actually handed a challenge where it fits perfectly and you ignore it, then what are you fighting for? Because in the girl group, she was in pink hair. She was in long pink hair, revealed into a short blonde bob. Bitch, she looked great.
Oh, I loved her looking that.
She looked great.
It was a little different than everyone else. There wasn't as much cohesion.
Oh yeah, well that was
But
that was
I loved it still.
Issue,
she looked so cute.
Yeah, so we know that you can make those adaptations, yet you don't want to. So when you are handed a dark, scary runway, show us your thing. Show us your thing.
Respectfully. Minty Fresh was Bones.
Yes, it was Bones.
Oh, she was a witch doctor.
Yeah.
She was a witch doctor.
I loved the coat under it. I couldn't fully see what the fabric was, what it was made out of, but I want it.
It was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And her makeup was so scary. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her.
She's always gorgeous.
Now, Gigi Era. So Gigi Era was the baby, the scary baby. Mm-hmm. The judges said it's not drag enough, which is a point of view, but it was scary and kind of iconic.
But are we laughing with her?
I'm not laughing, I'm scared.
Are we screaming at her?
Yeah, she's so cute.
Mad respect for that. You did that.
Look at her. She looks like a weird...
And I love when people do unconventional things for runways and whatever. However, I think in general, what I've seen from Gigi from these first 3 episodes, her style is not, it doesn't seem finished.
She hasn't shown us the same level as maybe some of the other contestants have so far.
As any of the other contestants.
Listen.
So her coming out there and like, sure, be scary and whatever.
She went too literal.
Can you add a little, or if you're gonna be scary, give us a high level of scary. You look like a dirty baby. Or if you're gonna do scary and you don't wanna do like pretty, be high level. This was dirty baby. This was Halloween party. I'm sorry.
Haunted house.
This was haunted house. This was absolutely haunted house.
I also have a little attractive. I find them attractive. So,
but they're
so
I'm
you're
good.
being offensive
I've
to
seen
people
enough.
with diaper kinks, is what you're doing.
I want high drag diapers. I want that diaper stoned. I want it full of shit.
Venus Deluxe, bitch.
Oh,
How the fuck did you do that?
She bent this way a little. I loved this look. I loved that she turned around and
she
showed
was
them.
just showed butt.
Well, and just showed us how it was done. Like, I love that instead of her just kind of backing up, she's like, fuck it, here's my butt.
I loved it.
And she's beautiful. I loved this paint.
I loved her paint. I loved
She
her.
was so good in the girl group challenge.
And
I did
she
feel
won
bad
last week.
because I feel like had she been on the other team, she really would have been in the contenders for a win.
Yeah.
Because I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah.
So gorgeous.
Speaking of fantastic, who is up next? It's Taurine, who I freaking loved.
Best runway yet.
I
this
loved
is her best
this,
runway
and I
yet.
loved her presentation. The way she used
Yeah.
her body to present it.
She has struck out the last two runways.
And
I
even though
was like,
you couldn't really see her face, I still felt what she was like. She was more expressive. I love her.
I loved it. I was just so happy because I'm such a big fan of hers.
Yeah.
And the first two runways have been tough.
Yeah.
So to see her shine, I was thrilled.
Eva La Queen.
Okay, before we get into this, can we talk about Eva La Queen's entrance line into the workroom? You know how like the next day they'll all come in and they'll enter the workroom and then they'll usually like say something? And she walks up and she goes, "Another day is another day."
She is some kind of spirit auntie shape shifter.
It's important to shift your shape sometimes.
She had those wings. I think she looks
you need to
cool
be
as hell.
square. Yeah, I thought she looked cool. I didn't fully. Most everybody else's looks.
Gross.
They told a story on their own. Hers, it felt like she had a couple different stories going on, but I think that was just my own ignorance.
We also don't really know this, like the folklore.
No, but she looked beautiful and scary. And scary. She looked scary.
Marina Summers, sticking true to her name, she is a creepy, ghouly mermaid type person.
Gorgeous.
Marina.
She's gorgeous.
And this is so cool.
I did want a little bit of scary. We had been so spooked out.
Maybe
up to that
scary
point
teeth
that I
or
was,
something.
Yeah, that I was like, can we get a little, can you fart out blood or something?
Let's talk about Brigading. She was this, I don't know.
So it was like bloody eyes all over her.
The eyes
Whatever
are
she
dizzy
was
from
going
seeing
for.
too much.
Whatever she was going for, I was underwhelmed by this.
Well, I just don't know if there's some sort of like
No, but
something in the folklore that I don't understand.
I mean, even the folklore. I'm just saying, like, visually, is it appealing to you? No, it's
No,
not.
it kind of looks like when you put a blanket over to go to the fridge to get a midnight snack or to go poo poo.
You wear a blanket to the bathroom? You've dropped it in the toilet. I know you have. And you wash your clothes over here, so... Wait, is your poo-poo water up there?
Lady Morgana walking down. She is a mythical bird. She's a bird.
I liked her makeup.
Yeah. And those are our girls.
Those are the scary girls.
Those are the scary
Now we find
girls.
out that Brigading's group wins. So the
Purple wins.
the entire group is safe. Not just that though, it's competition, ma'am. So we have to have a winner, and of course,
That winner is
Turing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
My love. She is
well
so
deserved.
fucking
She killed
cool.
the challenge. Could not take my eyes off of her. And then her runway was so cool. What a redemption story. What a redemption story. And then they start to leave the stage. They're almost off the stage. And then Mama Pal's like, Brigading, come back up. And I was like, oh no, she's
And
in
Brigading's like
trouble.
still nervous about like, Oh no, did I do something wrong?
I know. I thought they might have put her in the bottom too. Like, you're going to be in the bottom with the rest of this group or something.
Well, that wouldn't
I
have
don't
made
know.
sense. I was nervous, but I didn't
Nothing
know
ever
why.
makes sense. It's drag.
But they were like, how do you feel knowing that you were placed last and you pulled your team through to a win? I love that.
And Brigading was so different, I will say, from her Untucked moment, and was like, I've learned a lot.
Good
I'm
TV.
such a Brigading fan.
We're biased.
Sure.
We're Briga
She got a
biased.
little carried away in Untucked, but I really hope that Minty can...
Get over it, because we like Minty too.
Yes. I didn't like how many times Minty said in this episode that she didn't care for her. She didn't like her. I was like, don't say that.
Minty's a child though, so maybe she takes her
But
longer.
so is Brigading, so they're little babies together. They can run a car if they combine their ages.
We do have...
Minty's 31. Yeah.
Oh, because she joked
lied.
and said she was 18. Wait.
You know when you joke and say you're 18 and people go, oh.
But I was born on a leap year.
Oh.
So I'm,
Yeah.
what is that?
You went to school in Texas. You're not going to be able to get this one.
Oh, yeah, football. So with the tops, we need some bottoms. And usually it's 2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
So our bottoms are Gigi Era and Silhouette. And that's sad.
Now, heading into the lip sync, Silhouette, her talking head, she said, have you ever seen a lion lip sync? I'm a lion when I lip sync. And I was like, oh, this is going to be incredible. She's going to kill some gazelles.
But she was lying.
She was lying the whole time.
So she wasn't wrong.
She just kind of wandered around and pointed.
Yeah.
It was fine.
There was not much she could do in the dress.
I think that's a generous thing to say in response to someone giving that performance and saying that they're a lion when they lip sync.
Yes, but on the other hand, aren't we always saying, like, I wish we could be half as delusional as a lot of these queens?
That's true. I need some.
She gives very delusion vibes.
Well,
And drunk with power.
I think it's the drunk with... That's what I was going to say. I think it's the drunk with power thing. She's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. But I don't think she's necessarily doing anything new or innovative or different.
But she's been in power.
But she's the mom. She's the, And Silhouette did a great job. I have been to 100,000 clubs and seen drag queens give that exact same performance of spirit and point and walk. And it works. I do it. I do a lot of pointing, a lot of walking.
I find it myself a lot.
I think the editors did her dirty by including that line about her being a lion on the runway.
That's what I do. You're welcome for the free show.
So we say goodbye to Gigi.
But with all the love and
Sure.
support.
Why not? So if you enjoyed that episode...
You're so mean.
No, I'm sorry. I think I'd seen what she could do and it just wasn't for me. And that's okay. That's okay. We all have our own journey to go on. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who love her. And I don't have to be one of them. That's okay.
Nar, you darn. Nar.
All right. If you enjoyed that episode, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And of course, the bell notification so you never miss a new episode.
Yes, and please join us on Patreon.
Oh, my nipple.
Patreon.com. Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Bodies.
All bodies are women.
Patreon.com/IMHOtheSHOW to hear us talk mad shit.
I promise you I'm not saying anything else about Gigi. I'm not being mean. Also, we are both on Cameo, so if you want a message from us to Gigi, go ahead and hit us up there.
And if you think Cameo is dumb, but you want a Shameo, go to IMHOtheSHOW.com, get a Shameo from both of us together in the same video with backgrounds and more nipple.
So much nipple. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
Ooh. What's your favorite scary?
Somebody sent us the sign-off.
Ryan did, and I have it. Palam.
Is it Palam or
Pa'alam?
Palam?
Palam.
Palam? Pal?
Let's just try. Palam.
Palam.
No. 1, 2. Palam.
Palam.
What's your favorite, spooky, scary story from growing up?
Oh, dumb bitch with the ribbon around her neck.
What?
Dumb bitch with the ribbon around her neck. Remember the dumb bitch that went to school and She had a ribbon tied around her neck, and she got made fun of for it. They're like, why do you have a ribbon tied around her neck? And she's like, I don't know, I'm just a bitch.
From Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes, and then they pull the ribbon and her head falls off.
Oh my god, you unlocked a memory with that. This isn't like folklore, but I was so scared of Freddy Krueger, and my deal was nothing could be hanging over the bed, obviously. Like, I couldn't have a foot or a hand over.
I'm gonna
and
be
that
honest
carries
with you.
over to tonight.
I've never seen a Freddy Krueger.
I
seen
had
the
never
clip.
either.
I've seen the clip where Kelly Rowland calls him a faggot, and that's hilarious. It's
No.
cinematic moment.
I had never seen it either, but for some reason I was so scared of him.
The thing that like stuck with me the most, besides religion was so scary. The thing that scared me the most as a child was the television that was made for children. Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon? No, Are You Afraid of the Dark did terrify me, but no, Salute Your Shorts. They did an episode where they were telling the story of this plumber, Zeke the plumber. He wore a mask, like a rubber mask, and he went around and like sucked your brains out with his plunger. With his plunger.
The platinum plunger?
The platinum plunger, baby!
Oh no!
It was so terrifying, and I watched clips of it last year because I had Zeke on the mind. It's not made for kids. I would never show that to a child. Go look up Zeke the plumber. He's terrifying.
Are You Afraid of the Dark was pretty scary.
It was really scary, but the main guy with the glasses.
Oh yeah.
So hot. As a child. Now I don't view him as hot because
when we were young,
when I was a child, you know who's hot now? All that guy, Josh.
Oh,
he's super hot now.
Of Josh and
No, from All That.
I know, but wasn't he someone?
No.
Oh, good for him. Remember Lori Beth Denberg?
Yes, I love her.
Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. Jimmy got hit in the head with a watermelon. And I still don't care.
Oh no.
I'm Lori Beth Denberg.
I love her.
I
hope she's happy.
I hope she's happy too. Where is she now?
Well, they rebooted All That, and I think she was like a regular on the reboot.
Amanda, please. That was the IMHO show. But
that was the IMHO show. That was very different.
You know what I was deathly afraid of?
Tell me.
Remember the movie, the original, The Witches, Angelica Houston?
Yes, of course.
Taking her shoes off and
Terrifying.
then being flat?
Yeah.
And then the lady with the snake, I was so scared of her.
Do you have flat feet?
Oh, they're not as arched as I want them to be, yeah.
So you're a witch.
I have been thinking, what if I'm a witch? I need to start getting into it. Crystals.
I have a friend named Crystal.
Crystal Kung Minkoff?
She lives here in Los Angeles. We went to middle school together.
But you and Crystal Kung Minkoff?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, she's one of the newest housewives on Beverly Hills, and I love her.
Beverly
Her husband is Rob Minkoff, who directed The Lion King, the Disney one, the cartoon.
Oh, it is the circle of life.
It's the circle of life.
Okay, bye.
And it moves us all. I have to remember to bring my tongue forward.